What's going on? Welcome to the 2021 edition of the Off the Schneid preview series, where I'll be going over all 32 NFL teams, breaking down their roster, schedule, giving you a record prediction, as well as helping out with some betting tips. If this is your first time on the channel, hit that subscribe button, and if you like what you hear, go ahead and smash that like button as well. Don't forget to check the description for links for the Off the Schneid social media and interact with me directly. I want to give a massive shout out to OurLads Scouting Services and OurLads.com, as all roster and depth chart graphics are straight off their site. If you've never been, go check them out immediately. I use their site for all NFL, fantasy, and betting purposes, and there's a link in the description for their site. Again, do me a huge favor and hit that like and subscribe button, but enough of that, let's get to your favorite NFL football preview. All right, we're taking a look at the Tennessee Titans, and right off the top, I want to take this opportunity to apologize to Tennessee Titans fans for last year. I was wrong. All right, there you go. It happens. I took a beating from Titans fans. They were mad at me. I didn't predict them to win the division, and maybe that was why. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. I did pick them to go 9-7. So. Sorry, 7-9. So that was a bit of a miss. I was wrong. You guys were right. That happens. So there you go. I think you'll like me a little more this time. Realistically, record-wise, you probably won't be happy with me, but I think they win the division. So there's that. We'll get there obviously eventually. Let's start at quarterback. Let's start breaking down this roster. Let's start at quarterback. Ryan Tannehill is absolutely the guy. I think that there were still some question marks, not large question marks, but there were some question marks about him. More than passed with flying colors. He is absolutely a top 10 quarterback in the league, in my opinion. I think in Titans fans' opinions, of course, he is as well. 33 touchdowns passing, 7 touchdowns rushing, 40 total touchdowns. You know, you could definitely make a case he's even, a top 5 quarterback in the game right now. He's killing it. He's absolutely killing it. So they're set there. Logan Woodside, Deshaun Kaiser, whatever. They're going to have a backup quarterback. I'm not super concerned. I expect Ryan Tannehill to play every game, so there you go. Move over to the running back position. Obviously, Derrick Henry is one of, if not the best running back in the game right now. Don't need to say much about him. Like, you can't project for injury, and I feel like some people are. I'm certainly not. The dude is a beast. He's massive. He's bigger than most linebackers. So, I'm not going to say that he's going to get injured, that's for sure. And, I don't think that you should project for that. And he's a beast. He's just so big. He's just so big. I got nothing else to say. He's just a massive mountain of a man that can just run people over and just do what he wants out there, realistically. Didn't miss a stride. I think he averaged 5 yards a carry 2 years ago. And then comes back and averages 5.4, 2,000-yard rushing, 17 touchdowns. Did he have any receiving? No touchdowns receiving. But doesn't catch a ball a ton. But 2,000 yards rushing, obviously, is insane. Don't need to say too much more about that. Could he do that again this year? Abso-friggin-lutely. So there you go. Jeremy McNichols showed up kind of out of nowhere, undrafted free agent, looked great, solid runner. And then Darrynton Evans, a 3rd-round pick last year, change of pace guy, can catch the ball. He's good quality depth guy as well. So they got depth there, no concern realistically. Brian Hill comes in as well. He's probably, for me, the 4th guy that rounds out this room, to be honest with you. Tight ends are in a great spot still. Anthony Ferkser had a very good year last year. He showed that he can be that guy. So they let Jonnu Smith walk and spent that money somewhere else, a couple places, which we'll get to. But with Jeff Swaim there, solid depth vet who's been around for a long time. And Jared Pinkney, I think, can get the job done. He's going to need to, get some seasoning, get some reps, get some playing time in the preseason. I think he's going to love preseason, to be honest with you. I think he's going to get a lot of playing time. So there you go. That's the tight ends are in a good spot, even though they lost Jonnu Smith. Wide receivers, fantastic spot. So here's the thing. If you look at this Titans roster last year on offense, Corey Davis, gone. Johnny Smith, gone. Adam Humphries, gone. Khalif Raymond, gone. And here's another part about it. To me, they're better. This is a better offensive team. Julio Jones obviously comes in, which is phenomenal. Just kind of rounds out this team. Him and AJ Brown are going to be fantastic. I was and I still am a huge fan of Des Fitzpatrick. He was fantastic in the Senior Bowl. I think he's going to fit in very well with this team. I think they should give him a look in the slot. Give him a shot to beat out Josh Reynolds. If he's the better wide receiver and he earns the job, give him the ball, give him some playing time in this offense, in the slot. I think he can be more of an outside guy. I think he can do a little bit of both. I think realistically, he can do what you need him to do, and I think he can play the slot. I'm not a fan of Josh Reynolds, and he can absolutely do the job. But I just really like Des Fitzpatrick personally. I really, really like him. Racy Mcmath, also want to throw that in there. 6th-round pick, Racy Mcmath from LSU, has all the potential in the world to be a wide receiver in the NFL. I think he should make this team. Obviously, they have some draft capital invested there, so I think he should make this team. And he'll hopefully get some reps in the preseason, unless he falls flat on his face, which could happen. But I do like Racy Mcmath. I do really like him. Offensive line is in an okay spot. It's always been kind of just middling. It's fine. I'm not concerned. The Isaiah Wilson experiment hasn't really worked out for anyone. So there you go. They draft Dylan Radins in the 2nd round. Fantastic get there. They brought in Kendall Lamb from the Cleveland Browns. We'll see who starts there. I think Radins probably ends up being the starter for sure. But Taylor Lewan on the left side, very, very good. Roger Saffold, Ben Jones, Nate Davis. There's continuity there. And they've shown they can get the job done. David Quisenberry's there. They have a little bit of depth. I'm not super concerned as long as everybody stays healthy, but realistically, I think Taylor Lewan and Dylan Radins are going to be the anchors of this offensive line, and the interior guys can all get the job done. So I'm not concerned. I'm really not concerned. Todd Downing takes over as the offensive coordinator. He was the tight end coach. Obviously, Arthur Smith leaves to be head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. I don't expect too much to change realistically. I mean, it makes sense that everything stays the same. Obviously, Mike Vrabel and Shane Bowen are still there. This is Mike Vrabel's defense, though, for the most part. I mean, they obviously both work in tandem. But offensively, I don't really see pretty much anything changing. I really don't. I mean, you could see 2,000-yard receivers in Julio Jones and A.J. Brown. They're very close to that last season with Corey Davis. A big part of the reason why I thought they might struggle a little more is I didn't expect Corey Davis to do what he did last year. He did a great job and earned himself some money in New York. So there you go. Move over to the defensive side of the ball, and this is a big reason why I'm more of a fan of the Titans this year, is this defense. I think that they got a bit of a bad rap last year, but they've done what they can to actually more than they can. They've made some very good moves, in my opinion, to make this defense pretty stout. I think they're going to be a bunch better than they were last year. Danico Autry comes in from the Colts, division rival. I really am not sure why the Colts let him walk. That didn't really make tons of sense to me. And it's a very good get for the Titans. Jeffrey Simmons, I think needs to take a little bit of a step forward. He hasn't been terrible, but he hasn't been that 1st-round pick that they want him to be. So he needs to take a bit of a step, and I think he probably does this year with the other, free agent acquisition where they spent that money. Bud Dupree, that is very, very good get. Him and Harold Landry. Harold Landry led this team in sacks last year, 5.5. I think he can absolutely take a step forward there. He had 5 passes defended, which is very good for that position. Obviously, drops back in coverage sometimes. 10.5 tackles for loss. He had a pick, 69 total touchdowns. I think that those two are going to be very good together. And then, the only issue I have there with that pass rush is there's not a ton of depth. Excuse me, Derek Robertson. I'm not even going to attempt to butcher that name. Those two, there's just not a ton of depth here. I'm not ridiculously concerned because Landry and Bud Dupree can be 3 down guys, and they're very, very good. So I'm really not that concerned, but I wouldn't mind a little bit of depth here. Jayon Brown, Rashaan Evans, very good. Interior, they're fine. I liked Monty Rice quite a bit as a draft pick there, 3rd round pick. So they're fine there, and they have a little bit of depth. Moving back, this has been a bit of a weakness, the secondary of this defense, but Caleb Farley fell into their lap a little bit. A lot of people say, he could be the number 1 corner in this draft. We'll see. As long as he's healthy and everything's all good, I think he'll be fine. Christian Fulton was their 2nd round pick. He's back. Grade Maven comes in. Janoris Jenkins, the Jackrabbit, he comes in. He can get the job done. Breon Borders, Brady Breeze, I actually like a fair amount. The small possibility he plays safety. We'll see. I did like him as a late round kind of dart throw 6th round pick coming in. Elijah Molden I thought was a fantastic draft pick. I think he absolutely is a starter on this defense. Kevin Byard, very good leader, very good safety. Dane Cruikshank, I don't think is the starter here, but quality depth guy and a good like he's just been a vet for this team. So he's been around a few years now. He's got a feel for the NFL. He can play. Not exactly a difference maker, but he can play. So yeah, they made some moves on defense, especially getting after the quarterback. Rashad Weaver, I didn't mention yet. I really like that pick, 4th round out of Pittsburgh, as far as I can recall off the top of my head. Very good pick there. So a little bit of depth, some difference maker. They're going to be able to get after the quarterback a fair amount more, which is a very much needed improvement. They only had 19 sacks as a team last year. I think they absolutely, even if they get that up to into the 30s, which I think is absolutely doable, this is a dangerous team. This is a very dangerous team. So again, Titans fans, I'm sorry, I was wrong. I like this team a bunch more than I did last year. And realistically, I was just wrong. There you go. Not a lot of guys will admit that they were just wrong, and I was wrong about this team. But I'm on the bandwagon now. I think that they absolutely are a very good team. I'm not going to say they're a better team, and we'll see, what you think when I project their record. So let's take a look at what they're going to do in 2021. All right, so I know they finished 11-5. So realistically, I'm projecting them to be exactly what they were last year. 11-6. Was what I'm projecting on the high side, 13-4, low side 10-7. Even at 10-7, I think they're a playoff team. They're the second best odds to win this division at 2.1 to 1 on your money. I'll say it right now. This year, I am picking the Tennessee Titans to win this division. I know that Titans fans wanted me to do that last year. I picked the Colts. They were right there, same record. Titans got the division. I think they repeat. I think they're a better team. Although I'm projecting their record to be basically the same, I think they're a better team this year than they were last year. So I think there's a good potential they finish closer to the high side, 12-5, 13-4, something like that. I think they start the season hot and heavy. It is a fairly, I'm not going to say it's extremely difficult, but it's not super easy schedule either. So let's blow through it here. Week 1 at home, fans in the stands, Arizona Cardinals. I think that the Cards are going to be good against the run, but it's Derrick Henry also. So there you go. And they're going to be weak against the pass, bringing in Julio Jones with A.J. Brown. They could throw the ball all over the yard on this team. So I think they absolutely get that win in week 1. Week 2 on the road against the Seattle Seahawks. Tougher game. Seahawks are good at home, all that kind of stuff. And Seahawks fans, I think, were mad at me for saying this, but I think the Titans go in there and they get that win. They're going to be able to throw the ball. The Seahawks are going to be weak as they've been in a little while against the run. And, Derrick Henry is going to be able to run the ball. They're going to be able to throw the ball. I think they can go in Seattle and get that win. At home against the Colts, I'm going to give them a split. They're both very good teams, so I'm going to go home and home against the Colts. Titans get the win at home. On the road against the New York Jets, they are going to pummel the Jets. Jets are not going to be very good. I don't care if it's on the road. Titans go into New York and get that win. At the Jacksonville Jags, I think that they're just a better team and they're going to sweep the Jacksonville Jaguars. So they go into Jacksonville to get that win. Start the season 5-0, you're rolling. Then they play Buffalo. It's their toughest test, without a doubt. These next 2 games are their toughest games. The beauty of this is, they're out of division games, obviously. They're on conference, I get that. But they're playing the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs at home, which is key. That's a big thing. They realistically, I think that they can split with these 2 teams. I think they can beat the Buffalo Bills and probably lose to the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are just going to be too much for them. They can be in that game. They can absolutely be in that game. And it very much could be a crazy shootout. Both of these games actually should both be, a bit of a shootout, gunslinger's delight type of a thing. Are they going to be able to come out on top on both of them? I don't know. I don't particularly think so, but they can absolutely be in both these games. They can absolutely win both these games. They can absolutely lose both these games. So again, low, high, my, but those are going to be very good games. Those 2 games in Nashville is going to be rocking for those 2 weeks in week 6 and week 7. So those are going to be very good games. Then on the road against the Colts, I think they take that loss on Halloween. Home and home split is what it is with that one. So they take the loss there. Then on the road against the LA Rams, I think the Rams get that win. They are a very, very good team. Very good defensively, very good offensively. I think that they're going to be the better team overall. And then at home, they get that win. So there's potential there. They can lose 3 of 4, right? 2 losses on the road to the Colts and the Rams, and then potentially 4 in a row they lose there. So they could go from 5-0 to 5-4. That's potential. We'll see. At home against the Saints, I think they're the better team overall. They get that win, especially at home. Obviously, they're gonna sweep the Houston Texans. Pretty much everybody's gonna beat the Houston Texans, so they get that win at home. On the road against the New England Patriots, not only is it a bit of a trap game right before their bye on the road, Patriots are a good team. Their defense is very, very good. I think that I projected the Patriots get that win. I think it's very much a winnable game for the Titans, very much. But it's in New England. It's right the week before their bye. I think that I'm projecting the Patriots get that win. That's how I'm projecting it. So there you go. Bye week 13 is a very good bye week for this team. They're absolutely a playoff team, pretty much regardless. And the later, the better in this case. Veteran team, they're going to know where they're at. Absolutely, they're going to know where they're sitting. They're going to know what they need to do coming out of the bye. All of their games after their bye are all very winnable. So knowing what you need to do in week 13 is going to pay dividends for this roster, I think. Which is also partially why I think they could take that loss against the Patriots right before their bye, because there's potential that they can be looking ahead there. There's potential of that happening. Out of their bye, at home against the Jacksonville Jaguars, they get that win absolutely. On the road against the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think the Steelers have a rough year. They absolutely get that win. Short week. Thursday night game at home against the San Francisco 49ers. I think that bodes well for the Titans, and they can definitely get that win, especially at home. Short week. They just came off a bye. They'll be okay. They can get that win. At home against the Miami Dolphins. Tough defense. Very, very difficult defense to play against, but at home, their offense is quite a bit better, in my opinion, than the Dolphins. They can absolutely get that win. So they can finish the season against the Houston Texans in Houston. They get that win, especially if they need it. The only way that the Texans have a shot in that game, in my opinion, is if the Titans don't need it and they're locked in. I don't think that they get the first round bye, the Titans. They could be in that conversation if they finish right at the high side. They could absolutely be in that conversation to have that first round bye. I don't suspect that they quite get there. But they're winning that game. So realistically, coming out of their bye, they could plow through 5 wins in a row out of their bye. They could start the season 5-0, finish the season 5-0. And I'm a massive believer in the first quarter. I know they're not quarters anymore with 17 games, but in the first quarter and the fourth quarter of your season, if they could do that, 10 wins right there, bingo, bango, bongo, they are absolutely a playoff team. They are winning the division and potentially up for that first round bye in the playoffs. So there you go. Hopefully Titans fans are a little happier with me. They'll probably still be upset that I projected, 11-6, but it is what it is. I am picking them to win this division. I will be betting on them to win this division. So there you go. Titans fans, let me know what you think in the comments. I apologize about last year. I was wrong. Give me another shot kind of thing. It is what it is. Let me know what you think in the comments. There's your breakdown for the 2021 Tennessee Titans.